healthy individuals under two types of treatment, 50 micrograms of LSD and placebo. In this stage, we are collaborating with a group of researchers from Unicamp, who conducted the experiment and shared the narrative they collected with us. This is a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover study in which 24 healthy subjects with no history of psychosis were randomly assigned to two treatments in two different sessions 14 days apart. During the sessions, participants were asked to ingest either a placebo or LSD and were asked to tell a story about 4 images presented on a sequence of slides. Both sessions followed the same routine. At 9 o'clock, after baseline measures were taken and before the ingestion of either placebo or LSD, participants were presented with the first set of 4 slides and had 1 minute to tell a story about each image presented to them. After that, at 9:30, they were asked to ingest LSD or placebo. A new set of slides were presented to them 2 hours after the ingestion, and again at 4 and 6 hours after the ingestion. There were 2 sets of slides, A and B, for each time, 0 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, and 6 hours after the ingestions. The images were always of the same type, 2 color-happy images, 1 black and white abstract image, and 1 slide presenting an impossible scenario, such as what would be the consequences of gravity were halved. In the below images, you can see examples of what the participants saw. They collected a total of 960 narratives, and our job was to screen and annotate sentences and subjects' pronouns in each narrative. So far, we have analyzed the narratives collected 2 hours after the ingestion, which is the peak of LSD effect. As the examples show in the yellow box below, we tagged matrix and embedded clauses, truncated sentences, grammatical such as ellipses and reduced relative clause, and ungrammatical truncated sentences. We also annotated subject pronouns new and overt, and third-person referential and non-referential pronouns, as well as if they were anomalous or non-anomalous. As you can see from the presented graphs, no significant difference was found between the groups with the placebo and LSD. Nevertheless, our preliminary result points to a strong tendency at sentencing at nominal levels. Under the effect of LSD, people produced more matrix sentence, fewer embedded, more truncated, both anomalous and non-anomalous, more new subject pronouns, and fewer new third-person referential pronouns. According to our preliminary results, the LSD psychosis model is not a perfect match to what is observed in schizophrenia. In other words, LSD does not seem to affect grammar in the same way that schizophrenia does. Just like schizophrenia, grammar under LSD shows a tendency to produce more matrix sentences and more new subject pronouns. However, unlike schizophrenia, we found that under LSD there is a tendency to produce more grammatical truncation and fewer new third-person referential subject pronouns. Therefore, we emphasize that although no significance was found, the higher production of truncated non-anomalous sentences and the lower production of new third-person referential pronouns under LSD at T1 at 2 hours after the ingestion, which is the peak of LSD, contrasts with the significantly lower production of truncated non-anomalous sentence and the higher production of new third-person referential subject pronouns we found in schizophrenia. These results also suggest that although language becomes simpler and more disconnected under LSD and schizophrenia alike, LSD, differently from schizophrenia, does not affect complex grammar. Thus, our preliminary results suggest that LSD has a lighter effect on grammar compared to schizophrenia. I'd like to thank you very much for paying attention to our presentation and giving credit to our research. Obrigada.